Hello, welcome back. So now we know how to find the information about our existing network setup. Let us see how to change it. So there are certain files which are very important files that we need to memorize, which will allow you to change this setting. So if you change certain files and certain entries in those files, your network setup will be automatically changed, and that's why it is important to remember the file names. So let us start with the file names. Let us say we want to change our IP address. So where is the IP address stored and where we can change it? And this is the file etc sysconfig network scripts and ifconfig eth0. So I'm going to open this file up here. eth0 is the Ethernet first, 0 is the first NIC device that we have. This is the name that is given to the device, ETH0. This is the MAC address. So there are quite a few entries that you will see over here. Couple of things that you need to understand here that you need to set up properly is on boot yes, which means when the machine is rebooted, please give an IP address to this Ethernet card. That is what very important thing is. If this is set to no, you will not get the IP address when the machine is rebooted. So make sure that this is properly set up. Now the IP address is given by two things. One is DHCP will give the IP address and another is the static IP address. So we're going to see only how to give the static IP address, and therefore the boot protocol here should not be set to DHCP. If you want to get a IP address from DHCP, you would be typing here DHCP here. Then everything else will be kind of ignored. All these things will be ignored, which are actually things to allow an IP address to be set for a machine. And a DHCP server will give the IP address to our machine. It will give the net mask, it will give the DNS server settings, and all other things that we have just seen. So that is something we are not going to do in this case. We are going to say that we are going to set our own IP address. Type is the Ethernet, so don't change this thing. Our network card is the Ethernet card. DNS1 is our domain name server. This is the one which is going to do the name resolution. So make sure that you do this properly. If this is not done properly, you will not be able to type ping google.com. You will have to type always the IP address of Google. So that is this setting. So put this entry over here properly. If by mistake if I put this to something wrong, and we will see what happens, I suddenly will not be able to ping google.com. And we are not going to use IPv6. That is another thing. So IPv6 should not be set to yes, and I will not go into these other details, but I will come to the important ones. The IP address is now 192.168.1.3. My current IP address is 3. I want to change it to 4, so I'm gonna just change this thing. Net mask should be properly set, which is gonna tell that my first 3 digits of my IP address is my network address. And then finally the gateway. Gateway is also very important. This is the one through which my traffic is flowing from my network to other networks. So make sure that this is properly set up. So what changes we have made here? We have changed my IP address and we have changed the DNS. So I have made these changes. I'm going to save this file. After saving this file or making changes to this file, you need to restart your network service. So service network restart. Once you do this thing, you will have the changes that you have made in this file in effect. So now let us see IP ADDR. IP ADDR now suddenly shows that my IP address is different. Okay. Have I changed my default gateway IP route? I have not changed my default gateway, so my default gateway is still 192.168.1.1. And then did I change my my DNS settings? Yes, I did. So let us see etc resolve.conf, and as you can see, my name server now has been also changed to 1.9, and there is no machine on my network with 1.9, and since this is an incorrect entry, my ping will not work, or my name resolution will not work. So let us say google.com, and as you can see, this ping is now sending a name resolution request to this name server, and it is not able to find the name server, and therefore it is not even getting the IP address, and since you are not getting the IP address, the communication will not be established. Now can I do a ping directly to the actual IP? Let us see that. So this is the IP of Google that we had found out. Now can I do this thing? Yes, I can still do this thing. So my network is fine. I am able to go outside my network through my default gateway, which is 192.168.1.1, but I am not able to do the name resolution. So let me again change my my DNS setting back to the proper server, and then I need to restart my service. Anytime you make a change to this file, you need to restart the service. Okay, and now my DNS is properly set here, and now I should be able to ping or resolve the name. It's not that I should be able to ping, I should be able to resolve the name of google.com to the appropriate IP address. Okay, so that is what the network settings are for. And now one more file. We have seen this is an important file. Okay, resolve.conf file, we should not change it, we should not touch that file. If you want to change, as I said, it contains the DNS name or DNS's IP address. Change it over here and restart your service, and then it will automatically change the entry over here. So that is the important thing that you need to understand. Now what is the purpose of this file, etc host file? If for some reason, if you do not have a DNS server on your network in your organization, which is going to be a rare situation, then in that situation you have a small file called as etc host. In that etc host file you put the IP addresses and you put the host name. So these are the kind of entries you put. As you can see here, I have put an entry here 192.168.1.3. This is my old entry. I'm going to change it now, and this is shaker.t.com. So what happens when I say ping shaker? Yes, it goes to that. First it will go to the DNS, and if the DNS doesn't know, then you know, it will no, sorry, it will first go to the etc host file. If in the etc host file it finds out the IP address for or the name for, I'm sorry, let me repeat what I just said. It will first go to the etc host file. In that etc host file, if it finds out the name Shaker, which is there, as you can see here, Shaker is there. I can put multiple names here. This one is one name, this one, both of them resolve to this IP address. So if you find that name, then the IP address is found from there, and the ping command will start working. So etc host has the first preference over the DNS, and the name resolution can also happen from that. I don't think you need to kind of put any entry in the etc host. Just in the rare situation, people put the IP address of your own machine and the name of your own machine over there. So that is what the whole thing is. And now the last file is the file which has the name of your host, which is this file, etc sysconfig network. I will show you etc sysc. This file contains the name of your host, shaker1.t.com. Now what is the host name that I have here? shaker2.t1.com. So why is that different? Because I can change the host name using the hostname command, which is, let's say, abc.com, abcd.com, and if I type the command hostname, it shows me abcd.com. But is it permanently changed here in this file? No. This is not changed. So if you want to make a change permanent, you must come and change it here. So I'm gonna change it to shaker.t.com, and now host name is still abcd. But what is going to happen when I reboot my machine? At that time, this file will be read, and this is the name that will be set up. So you need to actually reboot the machine to make sure that the name change that you have done, the host name change that you have done in this file, is put in effect. So don't just use the host name command. It is a temporary thing. It is not a permanent thing. If you reboot the machine, this change will be lost. If you want to make the name change permanent, change this file and everything will be all right. So coming back to our discussion, you should know how to set up the IP address. We know what file to go and change the IP address in, and that file name is this. Okay, if config eth0. Then you should also know how to set up your gateway. The gateway is also set up in the same file. You should know how to set up the net mask. It's the same file. Okay, you may not have to change anything in the etc host. And then finally, name resolution is also changed in the same file here. Okay, but anytime you make a change to this file, you need to make sure that you do a service network restart, and everything else will be fine. So that is how you set up your network. I will see you in the next video now.